Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your host, coming to you from the Lance Chuck Camper Mobile Podcast Studio, Master Captain Angie Scott.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Woman Angler and Adventurer Podcast. Hope you are having a great start to 2023. I'm down here in the Lance Chuck Camper Mobile Podcast Studio and just really enjoying being in the Fort Myers area and just coming off a fantastic National Professional Anglers NPAA Conference and our women's kayak fishing meetup. Hopefully you saw some of that stuff on social media, but we're going to do a little recap episode on that this week. And so after our kayak fishing meetup, we met up at a restaurant in Matlacha to support the community after the hurricane, and a bunch of the ladies were able to join us. And then after the lunch, I was able to grab a few of the ladies just to get their thoughts on everything, the conference and the kayak fishing meetup. We had an absolute blast, and so you'll get to hear all about that now on this week's episode. Thank you to Gabriella McGrath, Lieza Fitzgerald, and Debbie Hanson for taking a little bit of time after the event to share their thoughts. And I hope y'all enjoy, and I hope some of you will really think about coming to the NPAA conference next year and getting signed up. It's only $100 for membership. It's incredibly valuable, whether you're in the industry or you're thinking about doing something in the industry. You get a ton of discounts with your membership, and so I find it more than pays for itself. And you'll hear some about that as well, but just the conference itself is just incredibly invaluable. So again, enjoy listening to this episode, guys, and thanks for all your support, and just really looking forward to another exciting year. Let's go. Hey everyone, I've got Lieza Fitzgerald here, a recent guest on the podcast, but we got to meet up down here in Southwest Florida, do a little fishing. We went to the NPAA conference. You want to give us just a little feedback on, first of all, the conference and then kayak fishing with the ladies today?
Well, the conference was just a gem. It's a small organization that needs to be humongous, has a great opportunity to really help individuals who are professional anglers and those associate organizations that support professional anglers. So the NPAA is a great organization to be involved with. Some really great speakers, Bobby Lane, Mike Burnett, G-Man himself. So it was phenomenal. But the coolest part was the great people that I met. And then the opportunity to spend time this morning on the water in Southwest Florida, catching fish, seeing fish. You know, the waterways are not what they used to be, but they are still amazing and still give you the opportunity to catch fish. But it couldn't be more rewarding to see all of the women that joined us. And you did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
So proud of everything that you've accomplished and your podcast and the relationships that you're building all over the country. So,
awesome. Well, thank you. Well, everyone else, and shout out to Debbie Hanson, who did a lot to put this women's kayak fishing event together as well. We just kind of tacked it on with the NPAA conference because we knew some other ladies were already going to be here, so it kind of made sense to do it now. And also to support the community here, Matlacha. We went to, we just finished up a late lunch with the ladies after fishing all morning. But everyone else was out in kayaks. You have a different boat. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I actually have a Ginu. I have a kayak on steroids. It's a Ginu. And so I prefer not to get wet and have to paddle and do all the hard work. I'm the lazy angler. So I do. I have a Gnu L25 and have a little Yamaha 25 horse, Minn Kota trolling motor, Hummingbird electronics, micro anchor. So I'm all set up. Yeah. I take two people fishing, and it's such a joy to be in and to get back in skinny water where the water is crystal clear. You can see the fish. It's a hunting fishing machine. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, when we took out, it was an outgoing tide, and talk about skinny water. So I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, I was able to slip into some areas that had less than 3 inches of water before you got into those 4 and 5 foot holes. We found a lot of trout. We found some big schools of redfish. The redfish were spooky. Wouldn't allow us to get close enough to them to get a hook in them, but we saw them. We saw them tailing, bald eagles, and the bald eagles stealing from the ospreys. So what a day. Yeah, it was amazing.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you were able to come to the conference and also participate in the event today. It's been so great hanging out with you, and just thanks for everything you do.
Well, anytime you're in Florida, please come see me. I'm happy to get you on the water.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'm here with another lady who attended the conference and went kayak fishing with us today. And we're in Matt Lachey sitting outside of Michelli's.
I think that's right.
She's been on the show before. Welcome back, Gabriella McGrath.
Hi, Angie. Thank you so much for having me back on the show.
Absolutely. So this was your first NPAA conference. What did you think about the whole thing?
It was my first time, and I was very grateful to have been invited. I was extremely impressed with the conference. I did not know what to expect, and there was a lot of inspiration there, a lot of professional people with a lot of insight into different angling careers that, someone such as myself could pursue. Overall, I just had a really great time and was happy to be there.
Awesome. How about the Future Angler Foundation? And we had the banquet last night. What did you think about all that?
Oh, that was incredible. I liked especially the videos they had made, targeted towards kids, pretty much made by kids for kids, to increase advocacy into the sport of fishing. And I thought that they have a really great mission with what they're doing with the Future Angler Foundation. Happy to see it. Would love to do whatever I can to help out in the future of that foundation.
Very cool. Well, and you made a pretty cool connection with Bobby Lane, one of the speakers. So some maybe exciting stuff coming up for you down the road.
Definitely. So I am involved with the USF St. Pete Fishing Club, and I'm in a leadership position there. And I was able to touch base with Bobby Lane, who is a tournament angler who just won the Red Crest in 2022. And he has the Bobby Lane Cup, which is a scholarship program for high school students, and that's out in Polk County, which is near to us up in Pinellas. So we're definitely looking to get involved in that. I'm going to see how many students we can get out to help, and hopefully develop a lasting partnership between our school and that tournament to increase the help that they are able to get in providing for those students.
Well, great. So yeah, just one great relationship out of many, I'm sure, formed during the conference. All right, so following the NPAA conference, we had a ladies meetup and did some kayak fishing today. What did you think?
I was taken away by how many amazing ladies showed up and the camaraderie that we had with each other. It's really cool to see all these different women from all different parts of the country, from all around Florida. Some of them were at the conference, some of them were not, and we just came together today. We made it happen. I love that you put this together. Thank you so much. You and Debbie Hanson, I know, were the organizers of this event, and I'm super appreciative. It's always, fun to get out there on the water with some ladies and make some new friends.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Great group of ladies, like you said, from different parts of the country even. And some had never even kayak fished before, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you and I, of course, had our one kayaking experience, and this, I have to say, is the second for me. So,
a little more intimidating being kind of in the saltwater.
It is. It is like when we went the bass fishing, I said, hey, it's actually easier than I thought it would be. And this was probably just about as hard as I thought it would be, just the working with the tides and the more moving water.
Yeah, and with that moving water and not having like pedal drives, having to deal with your paddle and work your rod, it's a little challenging.
Right. And then we were using traditional anchors instead of like a weighing anchors or a pole anchor that would go into the ground. So, all different variables, and we can only go up from here. So
exactly. Were you intimidated at all by how shallow it was at times?
Not really personally, just because I'm very familiar with those types of waterways, because I do wade fishing, and I do paddleboard as well. Not necessarily paddleboard fishing, but I am in those situations. So.
I'm not gonna lie. A couple times I'm like, oh man, I hope I don't get stuck. It's getting really shallow here.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is you can always get out and push.
Right. I thought about that. It's like, not gonna get totally beached probably. So.
Right. But you do have to worry about those sandbars. So.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to come for the conference and be a part of this women's fishing meetup, and I hope we get to do more events like this in the future.
I am so grateful to have been included, and I definitely would love to see more of this going on. Even if we do more kayak fishing or go on a charter boat, like a head boat, go offshore, something like that. There's a lot of different options, and I love being together. So
yeah, me too. Very cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie.
All right, so now I'm sitting down with co-organizer of the Women's Kayak Fishing Meetup today, Debbie Hanson. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me back.
So, couple things. So first of all, this weekend was your first experience at an NPAA conference. And I've talked to a couple of the other ladies that it was also their first experience, and just getting some feedback. What did you think of the whole conference?
Wow, I can't say enough good things, Angie. I was really impressed, from the speakers, Bobby Lane, G-Man, Gerald Swindle, to all just the very constructive and helpful information that I gleaned from the educational sessions and workshops as far as social media for those who are professional anglers or competitive tournament anglers. It was really wonderful. A lot of things that, you go through your daily life and you go through your business, but you don't always take the time to stop and really assess things that you could be doing better, relationships that you could be creating or making stronger. And the NPAA conference was just a wonderful networking opportunity. I felt incredibly inspired after hearing the speakers, and just really good feedback overall.
Great. Yeah. And I've heard it said throughout the weekend, the information shared at that conference is different information than you really get anywhere else.
It really was. I think that there's a lot of fishing seminars and there's a lot of fishing conferences, and we have ICAST, of course, but you don't always get the opportunity to really hear from, for example, marine insurance companies and things that you should know, pitfalls to avoid, things that you should be looking for when you're signing on with an insurance company, or say, for example, getting to understand from the people who provide sponsorships what it is that they're looking for, what they're looking for their pro staff or pro teams to do, what the expectations are. And this conference was a wonderful way to hear firsthand from these people so that and have that information instead of walking blind when you're out there, from a professional standpoint.
And I thought it was really cool. They gave us the opportunity to have a women's networking session at the beginning of the conference, and that was just really valuable.
Incredibly valuable, and just wonderful to hear that there's companies and individuals that are really concerned about making sure that women have a voice and that women are heard and that women feel welcomed in the fishing community, especially on a professional level. So that really means a lot.
Yeah. So kind of tying that in, we coupled the women's kayak fishing meetup kind of on the heels of the NPAA conference because we knew that there were going to already be some ladies in town. But we had a fantastic turnout. How many ladies did we have?
22, I believe, was the final number. 22 women, and some of them had never kayaked fished before, so today was their very first kayak fishing experience.
Skull Vikings.
And I think,
Sorry.
woohoo! And I think we got a few of them hooked, which was wonderful. And we've talked about maybe doing another event in the future, which I think is just a great idea because the camaraderie this morning, seeing it out there on the water, and then here after lunch and during lunch today was just fantastic.
Yeah. So special. And, this kind of stemmed from our ICAST meetup and conversation. So, hopefully, like you said, we'll get to have more of these events in different places and, more opportunity for different women to come out. And, so everybody stay tuned.
Yeah. It's so neat to see and to hear these conversations come up. For example, like our conversation at ICAST, and then here we are, how many, just not all that many months down the line, and the event happened, and we connected with some more amazing women, and hopefully we can keep the trend going so that women feel as if there is definitely a place for them in this sport and industry.
Well, thank you for all the hard work you put into organizing this and working with Gulf Coast Kayak. Shout out to them for supplying us with some guides and some kayaks today. And it was just a great event.
Absolutely. And it was great that we could all be here to support the Pine Island community after Hurricane Ian. That was an important part of this for us too. So between the camaraderie, the support here in the community, and just seeing all these amazing women together, it was a wonderful day all the way around. So thank you, Angie, for doing what you do to give all of us a voice here through your podcast and through a lot of the networking that you do. And I look forward to the next meetup.
Yeah. And, you can't top off a conference like NPAA any better than an event like today. So we're all fired up and we're just ready to crush it in 2023.
Amen. Woohoo!